everybody, welcome back to the channel. We are the Mighty Guru Yoghourt. You know it to be so. Welcome back to Cumbria, welcome back to Mr. Suzuki. I've missed this beast. We landed in Edinburgh at about 8 o'clock on Saturday evening after flying from Gdansk. Gdansk, me to your beauty with a burning violin. Yes, that one. And the flight was delayed. It was appalling. Treated like cattle. Taken to the plane. Ferried back again. No information divulged. We knew there was a problem with the plane. Anyway, shit happens. Landed in Edinburgh, as I say, about 8 o'clock Saturday evening. Murgatroyd, heroic deed, drove us all the way back to the hotel where I do some work here, and I've been there since. I've now discharged my duties there, and I'm, after an hour, going to work at the bar in Ambleside where I do some work. Why? Because I got to pay for the goddamn holiday in it. That was an expensive old time. You kind of always underestimate, or we always underestimate, just how much things are going to cost. You know, circumstances change, plans change, it all costs a bit more money. Anyway, on reflection, it was a fabulous trip. Yep, thank you for not pulling out on me. Would we do it again? I think not. I think not. And I'll get into the details of why I think that in a bit. So, I'm going down the road here now into Hawkshead. I'm going to catch up with a couple of friends who I know will be interested in hearing how my holiday went. And then I'm off to Ambleside. We hope that you enjoyed some of the films from Czech Republic, Austria and Poland. I know that we enjoyed making them. And I've got some fairly big plans for the next week of riding now that I'm back in Cumbria. I was very pleasantly surprised by the fact that Mr. Suzuki here started first time after being sitting outside the hotel for 2.5 weeks. These are the wonders of Japanese engineering, of course. He gave one big backfire, bang! And then he started. Delightful. Murgatroyd goes back to work tomorrow. That's pretty much the summer holidays over for us. But there will still be the impromptu 2 or 3 day trips. We were overall very delighted with the MSR Elixir 3, and that will certainly be getting taken to a lot of campsites through what's left of the summer and well into the autumn, and quite probably even into the winter. T-Junction, really good place to fuck around. Were you talking to me? Oh, I thought.
Sounds proper tappy though.
Yeah, it is a bit. It's one of the header pipes is needing a bit of a. Well, it's a new gasket job. I've got the parts. I just haven't had time to do it. But yeah, that's why it sounds like it's blowing a bit. Yeah, maybe tomorrow morning. Well, it's always nice to catch up with friends, isn't it? Had a good old chin wag. And now I'm on the way to Ambleside. Ooh, just sounds nasty. Ooh, pretty much is. Anyway, I'm actually quite looking forward to doing some cooking this evening. Hopefully it won't be too quiet, but it is Bank Holiday Monday and most people will be going home. Back then to a discussion of what we'll do next year on our motorcycle camping tour of Europe. Now, regular viewers will remember that the Murgatroyd is now determined to be doing her full motorcycle license next year. So before I launch into what I have to say about what we'll do differently next year, and it won't incidentally involve the renting of any motorcycles, I want first to highlight some of the problems that we encountered during the recent European motorcycle camping tour. First one, you never know, unless you take your own motorcycling gear, what you're going to get. And I have to say that the stuff that we were handed to wear, helmets, riding suits, gloves, were better out of Prague than they were out of Gdansk. The stuff we were handed out of Gdansk was quite frankly scary, and in many ways that stopped me from fully exploring what the motorcycle we were riding. Just to refresh your memory, it was a BMW R1200 GS. I was quite simply too worried about coming off the bike, because the gear that we'd been loaned, and fair enough they didn't charge us for it, and fair enough they pointed out that it wasn't going to be the best gear, but I really didn't expect it to be the worst, and it absolutely was. I felt as though I was continually riding in shorts and a t-shirt, so I quite simply could not ride the motorcycle as fast as I could. It was a shame. The situation wasn't so bad out of Prague. The stuff at least had protective knee pads and elbow pads, but not much else. And from both motorcycle rental depots, the helmets ought long ago to have been put in the bin. But there you go, you pays your money and you takes your choice. Next year, the Murgatroyd hopefully will have her full license. She'll have her own middleweight bike, and we will be able to carry a lot more luggage, and we will be able to leave Cumbria on our own motorcycles and be completely independent. And so that's the first thing that we're going to do differently next year. The second thing that we're going to do differently next year is to largely avoid big cities. The big cities that we spent any amount of time in, and I'm talking here Wrocław, I'm talking Warsaw, I'm talking Prague, I'm talking Gdansk. They do my fucking crust in. I cannot be walking around in crowds and crowds of people. Now, That's not to say that we didn't meet some interesting characters along the way. We did. Gregor from Polski Smack was amusing enough. But I don't go motorcycle touring to ride through log-jammed, practically gridlocked, busy metropolises. It's just not my thing at all. So whilst I would say that on balance we had a pretty damn good holiday, there were one too many, or actually 7 too many, draggy low points for me. So with regard to that, never again. So come on, Murgatroyd, I'm going to support you as much as I possibly can in getting your full license. We'll get you a nice... He's telling me to slow down, I don't know why. We'll get a nice middleweight bike, maybe a 450 Himalayan like Monkeywood Garage has just test ridden. We will see. And I will have, this time next year, either a BMW F650 GS or the Vosges 900 DSX. Be interesting to see how that one plays out. Here we are then, arriving into Ambleside. I'm going to pull up outside the bar where I do the work I do here, drop off my bags, go to the petrol station, fill up the tank for later in the evening, and then go and do some cooking. I hope you've enjoyed this little film. I've certainly enjoyed making it. And we'll see you in the next one. Ambleside on a bank holiday Monday. It's actually nowhere near as bad as I thought it would be.